Hi friends, in this particular video we will discuss on law on boundary disputes which are being stated in the Yajnavalkya Smriti. So let's see friends, what are these law of boundary disputes. When there is a boundary disputes between two villages or between two farmers regarding the land, following parameters would be used as boundary marks to identify and define the boundary. Statements made by aged persons, statements made by person doing grazing of animal, people cultivating lands near boundary, location of small mountains of red ants, location of potholes, one who says that there are bones by placing stones. So friend, these are the parameters based on which the boundary disputes were resolved, like having the aged person who are in the village, or by bones, or by mountains of red ants. If you analyze all these factors which are given to resolve the boundary disputes, you will see that these are very practical aspects of resolving any kind of dispute. Rather than going in a very technical manner or going in a manner in which it becomes difficult to prove. Because if you see these parameters, it is very easy to prove. The aged people are easily available, potholes are visible, stones are visible, bones can be discovered, red ant mountains can be seen. So a very practical aspect and the easiest way to resolve the boundary disputes. So that was the practicality which was being stated by Yajnavalkya. Now let's see what he sees further. When there are no boundary marks available, in such case following methods should be followed. Around 10 villagers from the neighboring village would come together by wearing red color clothes and would carry on their head pot made of sand, and in this manner they would decide the boundaries. If it is absolutely not possible by any means to decide the boundary dispute, in such case boundaries would be defined by king. When anybody wrongfully enters the property of another, in such case wrongful person would be removed from the property and he is required to pay the fine to its lawful owner. Friends, you can see that how easy and practical approach it has been there. So as Yajnavalkya has said how to have boundary marks, at the same time it says that if there are no boundary marks, how a particular boundary would be decided. Now absolutely not possible by means to decide boundary. In such case the king is being given power. So king comes into picture only when there are no ways, no methods, no means, no source in which the boundary can be decided. Only and only the king comes into picture. One of the aspects which we have seen is if a person wrongfully enters somebody's property, that is nothing but today what we call it as a trespass. And a very easy solution is given in Yajnavalkya, and that is that person will be simply removed from that particular piece of land and he would be imposed fine. So probably there was no litigations regarding trespassing as far as this particular aspect is concerned, and what we have seen in this Smriti, there doesn't to be any suits for removing trespassing, illegal trespassing. It's very simple. Somebody enters wrongfully into another's property, just remove him. So these are the very practical and very simple ways in which the laws were defined in those days. Now let's see what further Yajnavalkya says on boundary disputes. land would be acquired from private owners for the purpose of using the same for welfare of the people, that is, for constructing bridges or wells. If land is acquired without informing its owner, then in such a case, the construction done on the said land would become ownership of that landowner. If a person takes a land for cultivation from another person, but cultivates only a small part and at the same time does not allow other person to cultivate, in such case the first person would be given only the part he has cultivated and the rest of the land can be given to any other person for cultivation. So friends, you can see from this particular aspect that the land acquisition law which is there today, under which the government acquires land for the purpose of benefit of people, it exactly existed even in the ancient times. That is what Yajnavalkya is saying, that the land acquired for the purpose of public welfare. So the land acquisition equally existed at that point of time in Yajnavalkya Smriti. Now as far as the productive land was concerned, if you see that productive land should not be wasted, and that was one of the basic intentions of the law prevailing at that time. Hence it is stated that if a productive land is given to a person, he is cultivating only 50% of productive land, the balance 50% productive land should not be wasted. It has to be given to some other person who will cultivate that. So the basic intention behind this is a productive land should never be wasted. It should be used for the productive purposes. So friends, this was regarding the boundary disputes, the concept and the law mentioned by Yajnavalkya. In our next video, we will see laws of grazing and herdsmen. Thank you.